Coming up on KUJH, Kansas legislature passed a House bill to protect women's sports. But what does this mean for the LGBTQ+ community? We'll find out.
Plus, student senate elections are right around the corner, and pressing topics are coming to the table. And
KUJH reporter Kyle Mathis will join us live to give us a look at a new bus depot on KU's campus.
Live from the studio in Stauffer Flint at the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
2, 1.
Welcome back to KUJH. I'm Sam Goldman.
And I'm Jessica Joseph. Spring has sprung in Lawrence, Kansas. Halen Wilhite joins us to give us a first look at the forecast. Halen?
Spring has certainly sprung here at KU. The trees are blooming, flowers are blooming, temperatures in those lower 80s the last couple of days. Feels a little bit like summer, not going to lie about that, but it is just absolutely great out there. The sun is out, few clouds still mixing in the area, but we're still going to be enjoying those sunny conditions for the rest of this afternoon, maybe a little bit into tomorrow before we'll eventually have to talk about our next chance of rain. But no rain in the forecast for tonight and for today. Temperatures still in those 70s at the moment right now, getting a little gustier as well. Still seeing those winds blowing at about 10 to 15 miles per hour and gusts up to 20 miles per hour from the south. And so with those stronger winds, we are seeing a few of our counties under that red flag warning. So high fire danger in store for today. So try to refrain from any burning out there, as it is going to be quite gusty this afternoon. Temperatures in those lower 80s as our highs, but still great weather to get out and enjoy the weather. Although with that wind, pollen is still pretty high out there as well, with the tree pollen and that grass pollen. So be sure you're taking those allergy medications, really staying on top of that. But as mentioned before, we are tracking some storms potentially for tomorrow before eventually we're maybe talking about a little weekend cool down. But it looks like spring weather, or at least the spring swing weather, is still going to continue going into next week. But we'll talk more about those storm chances coming up.
Thanks, Halen.
A new law that will affect several athletes in Kansas goes into effect July 1st. House Bill 2238, banning transgender girl athletes from competing in girls and women's sports, passed after a 2/3 majority vote.
KUJH's Marlon Martinez joins us in the studio with details on this new bill.
Yeah, that's right. The House and Senate overriding Governor Kelly's third veto on transgender issues has sparked major concerns. Now, lawmakers on both sides share their strong opinions on why they voted for it or against it. But at last, the final vote was decided by a Democrat voting towards the ban.
By Constitution, the veto is overridden.
Kansas Rep. Christina Haswood shares her frustration after Republicans claim victory in overriding the governor's veto.
Really angry about it.
In a divided House, representatives from each party expressed their concerns.
Should LSU's female champion, Angel Reese, give up her spot, her recognition, and her victory, a black woman, because a man decided to suit up with the females and go dominate the court?
What we are doing is crucifying a target of our population, and I vote no.
But a win for some is a loss for others. And unless something changes effective July 1st, trans girls kindergarten to college will now be banned from enrolling in a girls or women's sport.
This will portray us as bigoted and discriminatory. And as a proud Kansan, I'm ashamed.
Haswood said the legislator is there to protect all Kansans, no matter their race, color, or gender.
This is another barrier and another thought in folks' head when they're trying to get their kids into sports.
And says her job is far from being done.
To see this result is very disappointing, but we are not going to give up the fight.
So to break it down for you, House Bill 2238 goes in effect July 1st. This means the bill requires all school athletic teams be designated either boys, girls, or co-ed. Transgender girls will not be allowed to play on a girls' team.
When a bill is not signed by the governor, it stays effective until further action, which means HB 2238 will be implemented until a bipartisan agreement is signed.
Thanks, Marlon. This isn't the only bill in Kansas that could impact transgender people. Senate Bill 180 has passed both the House and the Senate as of April 4th, and now awaits Governor Laura Kelly's decision. The bill refers to itself as the Women's Bill of Rights, but what does it really do? It separates certain environments, such as bathroom and locker rooms, by what it defines as biological sex. If passed, transgender women in Kansas would not be allowed in such environments. Supporters argue that the bill protects women from harm. However, critics are worried that the transgender people will face even more discrimination. Governor Kelly will most likely veto the bill, but both the House and the Senate may have the numbers to overrule the veto with a 2/3 supermajority. The Kansas legislature is now in recess this week and next, so it's not clear when the bill's fate will be decided, but it could be very soon.
In the busy weeks leading up to the end of the spring semester and just ahead of graduation, it can be easy to overlook student senate elections. But the outcome of that vote determines how $22 million of campus funds are allocated each year. I spoke with the current chair of the Elections Commission about how important voting is. At KU, the Student Senate has the power to make change on campus, and those seeking to wield that power are campaigning hard ahead of next week's elections. KU students are charged almost $500 in fees to support a variety of services across campus, and it is the Student Senate that sets the priorities for how that money is spent. These services include different student organizations as well as larger campus-wide initiatives. In preparation for the upcoming election, the coalitions have been working on voter turnout and voter education by speaking with different students and organizations. Voting takes place next week from April 17th through the 20th. To vote in the Student Senate spring elections, you can go onto Rock Chalk Central, sign in using your KU ID and password, and click on the coalition that you want to vote for.
New renovations are coming to the KU and Lawrence busing system, including a new bus station. KUJH's Kyle Mathis has more on the story.
For the KU and Lawrence bus system, plans to renovate routes and make it easier for students to get around has been in the works since 2014.
The university has already implemented the route redesign changes because we also had budgetary reasons to need to reduce the number of buses running. So we went ahead with the changes in order to do that. So KU routes have already been experiencing the new routes this year.
I'm currently here on Bob Billings where Central Station is being constructed just right behind me. As you can see, different construction equipment being used to build the station. The station projected to be finished in August of 2023 should make the bus system for KU students and students all around Lawrence an easier time to merge campus and the city.
Recently, I was looking at how many student addresses in Lawrence are served by buses that currently go to campus compared to next year when the new routes go into effect. And it's going to go from 13,000 students who are within a half a mile of a bus stop to 15,000 students.
Austin Eckert is one of those students and says he thinks the redesign will help.
Obviously, there's a lot of people that go to KU, especially off campus, so I think adding another bus station will help things go a little bit more smoothly, especially for the people that may live near that area.
Construction on the new station should be finished in August, with new bus routes to begin as early as July. Reporting for KUJH News, I'm Kyle Mathis.
After 3 years of the project beginning in 2020, the station will finally be finished in August.
Issues of transportation are one of the many issues brought up in the school board meeting Monday night. KUJH's Dana Nasser gives us an update on the new zoning for the Lawrence Public School District.
Jamie Reed spoke at this week's school board meeting about the proposed boundaries forcing her daughter, who attends Deerfield, to not only switch schools but travel quite a distance to get to her new school.
Woodlawn right now is about 3 to 5 miles away from our neighborhood, while Deerfield is only about a mile away.
Reed is a single parent who moved to her neighborhood to be closer to friends and family, and is where she has built relationships with other parents in order to create a support system for her daughter. Now that may be taken away.
And I asked her what she wanted to do. I told her that if she wanted to stay, I would do everything in my power to fight for her to stay and that we would figure it out. And she wanted to stay at Deerfield, so that's where we're at.
At Monday's meeting, the board heard concerns from parents regarding the new drawn boundaries, concerns about transportation and safety and how this will affect 10 of the 11 schools and nearly 500 students.
When you are moving students in, there may not be enough room for all of them, so you might have to move some students out of the school in order to make room to move more in.
The board will consider making adjustments to address the concerns expressed Monday night and will be making decisions about the proposed boundary changes when the Boundary Advisory Board meets. For KUJH News, this is Dana Nasser.
The Boundary Advisory Board met yesterday and their final meeting is on April 19th, but public recommendations will be heard at a board meeting on April 24th.
After this, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We'll find out what local care centers are doing to raise awareness on the issue.
Plus, a new mental health treatment center opened on Monday in Lawrence. We'll take you there.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Where's Tommy?
I thought he was with you.
No.
Jack!
Tommy?
Oh.
Don't stop, keep playing. Here we go. Here's the fun part.
Encouragement. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the Lawrence Sexual Trauma and Abuse Care Center will hold several events to raise awareness about this important subject.
Over half of women and almost 1 in 3 men have experienced sexual violence. More than 4 in 5 female rape survivors reported they were raped before age 25, according to the CDC, and this topic continues to remain important throughout the Lawrence KU community as the center continues to provide services for all individuals with different events and opportunities to meet.
Take Back the Night is one of several events scheduled as part of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and while there are several other events planned during the next several weeks, raising awareness of sexual violence is a never-ending mission.
Very few folks have not been impacted or touched by the impact of sexual violence in the lives of others. And so this month is really an opportunity to have an explicit conversation about the impacts of sexual violence on our lives and the ways that we can support one
another. For more information on these events and to learn more about sexual violence, their website is accessible at stacarecenter.org.
Douglas County Commissioners approved an agreement with the Burt Nash Community Mental Health Center to open and operate a Douglas County Treatment and Recovery Center. The center will provide urgent care, treatment, and recovery for those experiencing a psychiatric, substance use, or co-occurring disorder.
The Burt Nash Center worked with Douglas County for several years to make this new, more available center a reality.
Community check-ins will now be accepted from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. weekdays and noon to 4 p.m. on weekends, 365 days a year.
It's a multi
multifaceted, multi-dimensional team. So there will be nurses there, there will be therapists there will be nurse practitioners for the medication, there will be a full-time medical director, so a psychiatric professional.
And local residents say knowing their loved ones have more access to resources offers peace of mind.
I feel safer in my community knowing that my friends and loved ones have a place to go in a time of crisis.
Crisis care that is available for everyone.
Urgent care center, urgent care unit, that front door kind of access, that is for all ages. Come on in, we'll assess, we'll determine what the best next step for you is. For many of them, it's going to be what we're offering there. For some, it'll be that plus what we can provide for them out in the community.
This has been Catherine Galliani reporting for KUJH News.
The treatment center is the first of its kind in the state of Kansas. For more information on what resources are provided, visit trcdks.org.
Local vendors are excited for a new season in the downtown farmers market. KUJH's Sean Tokars went to the first market of the year to find out why shoppers are choosing to spend their money there instead of at a chain store.
Laurentians line the parking lot at 9th and New Hampshire Saturday morning for the first chance to buy from their favorite vendors this year.
I think people come to the farmers market to buy fresh and good quality merchandise.
Vendors at the market say price stability is a big reason people keep coming back for more.
The nice thing about buying local stuff is that our prices are pretty set. Like, we're not going to raise our prices tremendously if the price of gasoline goes up, say, because we don't really use gasoline on our farm. Like, I drive to the market, but that doesn't matter.
Lawrence Farmers Market manager Anaskina Dora says its sense of community brings people together.
A lot of people here, know everyone. It's very much a sense of community here. I think another thing is the variety of products we offer. We offer a lot of things that you wouldn't normally see at a farmer's market.
That community feeling means vendors think more shoppers at the market is better for everyone, regardless who they spend their money with.
What we want is to bring more people here, and people who might go to a big chain store who might not even be locally owned. Rather than that, they can bring their keep their resources local and support local farms.
For KUJH News, this is Sean Tokars.
Thanks, Sean. The Saturday Farmers Market is at 824 New Hampshire from 7:30 to 11 every week until November 18th. Well, it looks like the Farmers Market had beautiful weather. Our weather forecaster, Halen Wilhite, joins us. Halen, what should we expect? Nice spring weather for the next Farmers Market?
Yes, certainly a lot of nice spring weather is ahead for us. Even today, temperature is going to climb back into the lower 80s. So maybe not feeling too much like spring, a little bit more like summer here the last few days here in Lawrence. But, it feels great out there. The sun is out. Still seeing a few clouds mixing in this Lawrence area. But besides that, full sunshine action happening here for today and a little bit into tomorrow before eventually we're going to be talking about our next chance for some rain showers. But pretty quiet and dry tonight. Still going to be seeing temperatures pretty mild in those mid 50s, so could crack the windows open for this evening as it'll be pleasant out there. Winds still from the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour and gusts up to 25 miles per hour. But still heading into tomorrow, still about the same. 82 degrees is going to be our high. But again, we're going to be keeping a close eye as we get later into Friday evening and eventually Friday night. Going to be possibly tracking a few possible thunderstorms, some potentially on the strong to severe side. But so far we are going to be dry throughout the day tomorrow, so we'll warm up quite nicely back into the 80s by the time we get into 3 o'clock tomorrow. Starting to see some more cloud cover as we get closer into the evening hours. Still very windy as well, so hold on to the hats. But also, if you are going to be having plans later that night, or at least Friday night, you're going to want to at least have that umbrella on hand, as we're going to be seeing the potential for a level 2 risk for severe weather just to the west of Lawrence. And so here's here's at least one of our models that wants to show us what exactly is going to try to play out. So we'll probably see this front continue to move through the area, and we'll see pretty much a line of storms form up right along this cold front as it continues to approach Lawrence. But it looks like a lot of the models are kind of agreeing it is going to stay a little bit more out to the west of us. But I won't say, at least I can't rule out a few of those storms making it over to the Lawrence side of things. So definitely just be aware, have multiple ways of receiving severe weather alerts, as there is the potential for some large hail and some damaging winds. And of course, it is low but not zero, a low risk for tornado, especially for areas further out to the west of Lawrence, particularly in central and south central Kansas. But even as we look ahead into the next week, we'll see a little cool down for the weekend, but the above average temperatures are still going to continue as we go ahead into next week, and maybe seeing another round of some showers potentially late next midweek. But definitely the focus for tomorrow, at least that's our next big-ish system that's going to be moving in Friday night into Saturday morning. Could see a few of those scatter showers still lingering for Saturday afternoon. Temperatures dropping into the lower 60s, so might want to grab the jackets to start the weekend off, or at least heading into the weekend. But then eventually, by the time we get into next week, we're going to be seeing the lovely return of those lower 80s and the beautiful sunny skies once again next week.
Thanks, Halen.
And still to come, Anna Ambrose will join us to tell us what's happening in the world of sports.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I wasn't sure if I could do it. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but the teachers, the counselors, they help you. One of the teachers was Miss Araceli. Miss Araceli, she gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll come over and she'll sit there with you until you get it. Thank you, Miss Araceli. I know you make a difference in people's lives because of the person and teacher you are. I wanted to be here because I wanted to thank you for helping me get a beautiful gift. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work. Getting your high school diploma, it is a life-changing experience. It really is.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Get along down the road, we got a long, long way to go. Scared to live, scared to die. We ain't perfect, but we try. Get along while we can. Always give love the upper hand. Paint a wall, learn to dance. Call your mom, buy a boat, sing a song, make a friend. Can't we all get along?
Welcome back.
There's a lot of stuff to catch up on in the sports world. Let's head over to Anna, who can catch us up.
Welcome back for another week of your sports updates. Starting off with the 17-win Jayhawks, the baseball team is coming off a series win against 19th-ranked West Virginia. The Jayhawks hosted their second annual Buck O'Neil Classic this week in Kansas City against Texas Southern. The team defeated Texas Southern 8-5 before hosting them yesterday afternoon in Lawrence, defeating them 11-7. The home games against Texas Southern will begin a home stretch for the Jayhawks, hosting the Kansas State Wildcats for a 3-game series starting tomorrow. The Jayhawks get some midweek game action next week, hosting the Air Force before hosting Oklahoma State next weekend. Kansas softball is hoping to bounce back after recent losses against 21st ranked Baylor and 2nd ranked Oklahoma State. The team will start a 3-game series tomorrow against Texas in Austin. The women's tennis team is coming off their 3rd consecutive Sunflower Showdown win against Kansas State. The Jayhawks host 18th ranked Oklahoma State tomorrow at 5 p.m. and host 16th ranked Oklahoma on Sunday at noon to close out their regular season. Sunday's match will recognize senior Roxana Manu. You can catch the team at the Jayhawk Tennis Center April 20th through the 23rd as they host the Big 12 tournament. As the men's track and field team jump into the rankings at 24, the Kansas Relays are back in Lawrence and celebrating their 100th year. The relays start today at Rock Chalk Park, where the field events will kick things off, followed by the track events. Tomorrow you can catch the track events at 9 a.m. with the field events starting shortly after at 10 a.m. Saturday will host the finals of all events. In other sports news, Kansas volleyball extended head coach Ray Burchard's contract for 3 more years. Kansas women's basketball is the only Big 12 team that can expect 3 first-team All-Big 12 selections to return for next season. Tiana Jackson, Zakiya Franklin, and Holly Kirk-Skeeter will lead the Jayhawks next season. Kansas football wrapped up its spring season with the spring showcase this past Friday. KUJH's Michelle Jamela is live at the booth to get us up to date.
Thanks, Anna. I'm here live on the Hill, where KU football held a spring showcase last Friday inside David Booth Memorial Stadium right behind me. The team had its scrimmage, but the experience was for the fans. The showcase offered many activities, such as cornhole, free food, and a fun zone for the kids.
It's been nice. It's been fun for the kids, so they're enjoying their time.
The annual showcase gave fans a preview of the team, who is coming off their first bowl appearance since 2008.
I'm so excited. I think, after last year, I think our team did a great job. I think they exceeded expectations across the board, and I think they're going to do it again this year.
The success of last year was reflected well in the large crowds, drawing over 5,000 people to the event.
So far, it's been a really great experience, having a lot of fun and seeing everyone unite and support our football team. I think we're going to do really great.
Fans were pleased by the team's performance in the scrimmage. While Lance Lagpo looks to upgrade his roster, the booth will be acquiring upgrades of its own. Renovations to the stadium look to begin soon, as well as other sport facilities such as Anderson Family Football Complex behind me over here and Allen Fieldhouse. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Michelle. That's all we have for this week's sports update. After this, we'll take you to the Lead Center where the KU First Nations Student Association powwow brought community members together for a day of cultural celebration.
We're good. Thank you.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana.
What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Yeah.
Welcome back. The University of Kansas First Nations Student Association held the 34th Annual Powwow and Indigenous Cultures Festival last Saturday. KUJH's Sam Goldman attended the event. Sam?
Yeah, that's right, Jessica. With over 1,000 attendees, I was able to gain a deeper understanding of the rich Indigenous culture here in Lawrence.
The KU First Nations Student Association Powwow brought a full day of song, dance, and cultural celebration to the Lead Center. Jancita Warrington of the Menominee and Potawatomi tribes gave a presentation on the rich history of the powwow and reflected on the importance of the event.
It's always a good day when our community can come together and dance and sing together. That really rejuvenates our spirits and helps us to address sometimes the challenges that mainstream society poses to us.
Warrington says that with support from the Lead Center, they're able to plan for something bigger than just the powwow.
To have someone like the Lead Center here that partners and gives us a lot of in-kind support, it makes a world of difference in our ability to be able to plan for something bigger, which includes just having more variations of cultural education and more ability to be able to support the food artists and then the craft vendors as well.
As one vendor explained, The event not only provides an opportunity for cultural celebration, it also provides support and commerce to indigenous businesses.
To me, this event is kind of like being current in history. Like, what are we doing right now to better everybody? And so what we're doing right now is we're having some ceremonies and we're having some indigenous commerce, helps the indigenous businesses, you know, get them some sales going, get them in front of the public.
With support from the Lead Center, we can expect the powwow to continue to thrive as a platform for celebrating, sharing, and supporting indigenous culture.
Truly an incredible day at the powwow.
Yeah, it looked like a really nice turnout. It's really great to see. Anna, the Kansas Relays are this weekend.
They are. They're back celebrating their 100th year, so it should be a great event for everyone in Lawrence. But, Halen, it looks like there might be some rain.
Maybe just a little bit, so if you're heading out there, might want to grab the umbrella and the rain jacket just in case.
That's all for now. Thank you for watching KUJH. Make sure to tune in next week for more local news, weather, and sports.
And for more coverage, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and visit our website at tv.ku.edu.